Hi, everybody. Thanks for checking in with your evening weather update severe weather coverage. We still have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings hanging out with us here this evening, so I wanted to take you right to the radar. I know we've had numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. They've kind of been hit and miss. Now we're starting to get a few more. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are ongoing out there right now, and that's really going to be the story. Now, as the sun goes down, we're going to lose some of this energy. But we are still talking about severe storms that are producing large hail. Some of this hail has been anywhere from pea size to dime size, upwards of quarter to even we even had reports of upwards of a golf ball and even tennis ball and possibly baseball size hail showing up in Monroe County. So we do have on the screen, you can see the storms that are ongoing right now. I want to share a picture with you. This is coming in out of Monroe County. So that's upwards. It was reported as baseball size hail. Tough to tell when it's in somebody's hand, because you just can't really tell how big that is. But again, it's larger than golf ball, and so we're talking about tennis ball to possibly even upwards of baseball size hail, and it is definitely a nasty evening around town. These are starting to work their way off to the east and northeast and starting to merge together in some locations. We've had some minor rotation showing up with these storms, but the Weather Service, we don't have really an atmosphere conducive for tornadoes, but we definitely have an atmosphere conducive for large hail, and that's exactly what we've seen. All right, so let's get to work with the radar here. Let me stop the radar motion, and we'll dive into some of those storms here at this hour. We've got some pretty healthy storms showing up now into parts of let's go Cumberland County, working its way towards Morgan County. So Morgan County's already gotten hit hard. Earlier today, we had the potential for any upwards of tennis ball size hail, according to the radar depiction earlier today. And so now we currently have a severe thunderstorm warning now for Wartburg. This runs until 8:45. That includes Morgan County. So we're talking about places like Elizabeth, Wartburg, Catoosa, Grove, Petros, Oliver Springs. The storm is right over Pine Orchard and working its way to the north and northeast. So Pine Orchard is going to be in your location here at about 8:30. It's now 8:11. And I wanted to give you this update because I know a lot of us are starting to wind things down here this evening. Maybe you're getting home from baseball games or practices or events, or heading home from work this evening on the late side. Maybe you're just getting done with dinner and you're in the kitchen kind of cleaning things up. Or maybe you're getting the kids off to bed and you kind of want to know what's going on around the area. And so that's why I wanted to step in here for just a brief moment of time. We're not going to take up too much of your time. Watch as long as you want. We're not talking about tornadoes. We're talking about large hail and some damaging wind gusts for sure. You can expect that with any of these supercell thunderstorms that do fire up. So heads up Morgan County, got a nice little thunderstorm. Hail about 40%. It's tracking to the east-northeast at 22 miles per hour. Hail size could be upwards of about 3/4 inch diameter. So that would be less than severe criteria. And again, that severe thunderstorm warning runs until 8:45. Let's come down the screen and we'll go to Lake Tansey over towards southern Cumberland County, working its way into northern. Let's see, we got a severe thunderstorm warning for Bledsoe, as well as Cumberland County, and that also runs until 8:30. So that storm right there over the Winesap area, Bellevue, Hale Mill, and that is tracking to the northeast, all about 29 miles per hour. 90% chance for hail out of this storm. Severe hail potential 70%. Hail size about 1 inch in diameter. And the BTI again. The BTI is a tornado thing that I have with my weather computer. Again, we're not talking about necessarily tornadoes here this evening, even though we've seen some signs of rotation. I'll try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Brittany says, what time will it be hitting in Whitesburg, Tennessee? Thank you for the updates. Yeah, you're welcome. It's going to be a while. I mean, when you look at, let me just show you the big picture once again. We'll just take you out to the big picture to give everyone an idea of how these storms are all playing out. So Whitesburg may not even get hit in Whitesburg, at least with severe weather. May just get some rain showers before this is all said and done. A lot of the storms are south of Interstate 40. We've been talking about that for much of the week. How a lot of the rain showers are going to be mainly south of Interstate 40, although some of the model indication today thought, maybe a little bit more of that's going to be north of Interstate 40. And we started that way. And now as this low is tracking its way to the south and southeast, it's going to take the storms a little bit further to the south. So most of the activity is south of Interstate 40, except for the one that's coming out of Cumberland County, working its way into Morgan County. We'll come down towards Spring City, where we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for Spring City. So that does include places like Ray County and Meigs County. That's going to work its way towards southern Roane County. So places like Paint Rock, Watts Bar Lake, 10 Mile. That also has the potential of producing some hail, but not necessarily extremely large hail. We've seen some incredibly large hail down into parts of Monroe County, where we do currently have a flash flood warning in effect until 11:15 tonight, and that does include McMinn County as well as Monroe County. I believe that stretches all the way over into Blount County. Yeah, it does, until 11:15. When you look at the rainfall out of this system from that one where we do have the flash flood warning, again, turn around, don't drown. Watch out for rising water in those locations. But accumulations here over the last 12 hours, the bullseye has been down in two parts of Monroe County, so just north of Madisonville, the Fagan area, Hopewell Mill, stretching up towards southern Von Orr and Union Grove Pumpkin Center. So that's where we currently have a flash flood warning that's in effect. We also have heavy rain that has fallen over into parts of Bledsoe County, where we've seen some heavy rain. So, again, Doppler estimated there, but heavy rain continues here at this hour. Back to the radar we go. The hail core over towards the Melvin area, Burke, Big Lick, Hilltop Acres, anywhere right around northern Bledsoe and southern Cumberland County. We're starting to see how you start to see those the black and the purple starting to show up. That's letting us know that we have some good solid hail showing up in that. So when you look at your 1 hour hail depiction, that shows you where the hail is definitely falling. Back to the radar, I'll take a look at the 3D motion of this storm. This is a really cool thing that I have available with this computer system. And so what I can show you is we can take this into 3D if I can get it going here. There we go. Maybe. That seems to not be working right now. There we go. There we go. So there's that hail. Now we can put this into 3D, and you can really start to see that hail core. The hail core I posted on social media was going up to about 25 to nearly 30,000 feet. So that was an incredible hail core. This one is going just over 15,000 feet. So do anticipate some decent hail with that system, but it's pretty cool to be able to 3D these storms and really get an idea of how they're all playing out. All right, so now we'll come back to the radar, and we'll get rid of that. And we'll go check out the storm further to the south over towards Spring City. Again, not necessarily as much of a hail core there, but definitely one to watch for. And again, this is for Ray and Meigs County until 8:30. And then the one down in Madisonville, I know we talked about these flash flood warning that's in effect. But we are talking about places like Tallahassee, Von Orr, Happy Valley, Cades Cove, Tremont, Elmont, so the Smoky Mountain National Park. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings right now. All right, let's track it. The one just outside of Madisonville. So Madisonville is getting ready to get hit hard again, along with Rocky Spring, Big Creek. This storm is tracking to the east at 20 miles per hour. And again, not a lot of communities inside this severe thunderstorm warning right now until it gets over into the Pumpkin Center area, Tallahassee, where we already have heavy rainfall falling at this hour. So right along the tail of the dragon. So you're talking about 129 that runs over into North Carolina. So it is going to pass right over the tail of the dragon here in just a short while. So heavy rain, strong thunderstorms, large hail is still a thing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 severe thunderstorm warnings. So we'll come over to the mountain counties and we'll highlight what's going on over towards just south of Pittman Center. So most of this is going to be into the national park, but places like Catton's Grove, Cosby could be in the path of some of these stronger thunderstorms as they track their way to the northeast. Hail size out of this one could be upwards of 1.25 inches. So we're talking about possibly golf ball size hail with that one. The one just to the north of that, just south of, Pleasant Grove, south of Del Rio. Again, mostly mountainous terrain. That also has the possibility of hail upwards of 0.75 inches in diameter and likely to see a 100% chance of hail on that one as well. So a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings that are ongoing here at this hour. Thank goodness we're not dealing with tornado warnings right now, but you can definitely see how things are starting to quiet down a little bit, but they are starting to work their way into a little bit more populated areas like Kingston, Oak Ridge, Carnes, Farragut, and maybe into the Knoxville area. But again, Whitesburg probably is going to be just fine if you're joining us from Whitesburg like you were asking earlier today. All right, so Jacqueline says she sent pictures through Witcher's Pictures. I am going to highlight those here in just a moment. You feel like West Knoxville's in a hole? Well, that's a good thing. Nobody wants these hailstorms unless you're a roofer. You're welcome, Britt. Thanks, Mike, for going live. My kids were worried about the storms, and that's what I'm here for. I know it's time for the kids to wind down for the evening. My kids are inside winding down for the evening and getting ready to crawl into bed as well. Let's see what else is going on in the chat here at this hour. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up some photos. I do have some pretty good photos to share with you. We've seen some pretty healthy thunderstorms. Saw some pretty good rainbows as well. So this one is the size of a dime. As I get this up on the screen here, probably about the size of a dime, maybe a little bit bigger than the dime. So there's that one. Thank you so much. By the way, if you are going to send in hail pictures, always put like a quarter, a penny, a nickel next to it so we understand what the size of that is, because everyone's hands are different. This is from Brittany Manis in Philadelphia, Tennessee. So Brittany, thanks so much for sharing that one with us. Let's see. We've got another one coming in from Selena Wagner. Hail after a brief storm at 7:20 p.m. Not quite sure where this is. You didn't put the location, but if you do upload them to Witcher's Pictures, again, if you're talking about hail, but put your try to put something in next to it so we understand the size of it. But this is the hail that was showing up in some parts of East Tennessee. I'm not quite sure exactly where that was, but that looks like it's definitely larger. It's probably about dime to maybe even nickel size hail there. So again, not that we want these storms. We definitely don't want these storms to produce hail. We even saw some pretty good rainbows showing up. This is a good one. This was sent in by Angie. A promise kept, she says. Here we go. This is a great little shot to share with you this evening. With the thunderstorms off in the distance, a double rainbow at that, and a beautiful view. Not quite sure exactly where that location was as well. But again, make sure that you put a little bit more information if you upload pictures to Witcher's Pictures or even post it on social media. But this is a sign of the storms that were firing earlier, those supercell thunderstorms. The clouds were billowing up fairly quickly. This photo was sent in by Jessica Beeler. Around 3:42, she said, looking north from Emory Road at I-75, clouds were building on the cell in Campbell County at the time. And that was the storm that was really firing up very quickly in the heat of the day that potentially, although never saw any reports of it, potentially could have produced upwards of tennis ball size hail. Let's see. We've got another one coming in from Stockton. Let's see. Where else are these? Try to get a couple more on here for you. Golf ball size hail being reported in South Blount County. So this was South Blount County. The potential of golf ball size hail, at least ping pong size hail. Again, it's hard to tell from pictures how large that hail is, but we still have storms that are ongoing. I will say that I do think things are going to start to slowly settle down. It's 8:22 right now, and we've been thankful that the storms really didn't pack as much of a punch as they could have. I think that possibly this was due to the fact that we had some cloud coverage hanging out a little bit longer this morning. We didn't necessarily have a lot of rainfall this morning, but we had the cloud coverage. Had we had a lot more sunshine, if we get sun, like on a day that we're talking about severe storms and we have clouds that stick around in the morning hours, it tends to limit the severe potential through the day because you lose some of that daytime heating. And so temperatures don't come up as much, the instability doesn't build as much. But when we have start off with abundant sunshine and we're talking about, here's something to keep in mind. As we progress through the rest of May and June, we know that we can get extremely large hail and damaging winds and severe storms. And so if we ever start the morning off with abundant sunshine and we're talking about a severe weather day, definitely pay attention. If the clouds are sticking around, still pay attention for sure. And always check in with the East Tennessee Weather app. If you're joining me on Facebook right now, there is a QR code in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. A lot of folks still don't have the East Tennessee Weather app. This is a good time to possibly download it. Now, of course, if you're joining on your cell phone, you can't scan that. Just log on to easttnweather.com. I have it right there, easttnweather.com. And I have links for Android and iPhone right there at the top of the app where you can download super easily and efficiently the app itself. And now, one thing I was saying during my broadcast throughout the day today and things to think about as we progress through time, listen, if you don't want an app to track you all the time, I get that, right? I turn off a lot of my apps to not track me, but a weather app, at least go back in when we're talking about severe weather potential and allow GPS location services and allow push notifications because the app is not going to notify you. I've had several reports saying, hey, the app never notified me. And then I reached out and said, hey, what does it look like? Do you have your location services turned on? Do you have your GPS location on? And they were like, actually, I don't. Do you have your notifications turned on? No, I turned those off. Right. Well, the app's only as good as you allow it to be, but the East Tennessee Weather app is a very robust app. It gives you lightning data when lightning is within 15 miles of your location. It gives you push notifications when I do severe weather coverage. Many of you might have gotten that tonight, and many of you may be watching from the app tonight as well, and I do appreciate that for sure. All right, so Severe thunderstorm warnings that are ongoing here at this hour, and heavy rainfall. So some solid downpours are definitely showing up with that as well. Can you show any storms with broad rotation? I can. Let's see. That's coming in from Bryson. So Bryson, I can show you that. Again, we haven't had a whole lot of rotation. So we'll show you some rotation. So no rotation on that storm there. What you're looking for is the green and red next to each other. No rotation showing up in East Tennessee right now. Let's see if I go back the last hour. Yeah, we did have some rotations. So you can see the greens and reds next to each other, kind of showing up towards Pumpkin Center and Tallahassee. Not too terribly impressive whatsoever, but we did have some rotation earlier today that the National Weather Service was monitoring very closely, and I was watching it very closely as I was trying to get my kids some dinner and get ready for bed here this evening as well. So again, I think the point of the story is, the good thing is that things will start to wind down. Low pressure system is going to move its way on through. If you want to stick around, I'm definitely going to go through a full forecast to kind of talk about what's in store. Listen, tomorrow's Friday. We've got Mother's Day right around the corner, Mother's Day weekend. And I will say, from what we were talking about at the beginning of the week, it looks like things are improving for the upcoming weekend. Looks like it's going to be a little bit drier. Sure, do we have a chance for some afternoon showers? Absolutely, both Saturday and Sunday. But is it going to be a washout? No. Are we talking about severe weather potential? No. Dew points come down, so we're going to lose that energy and instability, and we really don't have a lot of lift. But Sunday night into Monday, Tuesday, we're talking about a lot more rain to swing its way on through. Excuse me. Lee said he posted posted lightning ball. Hope I can see it. I did see that lightning ball. I'm not quite sure. I think that was out of Illinois or something like that, Lee. So definitely. Red sky at night, sailors delight. Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. That is true, Mr. David Neal. Let's see. Talbot, Morristown. Are we going to see anything or get anything tonight? You can see on the screen how it's all progressing its way eastward. So, yeah, you're likely to get some showers and some thunderstorms. I do really think that a lot of this energy is going to start to fade away, and we'll start to see improving conditions. Actually, if I switch over to the radar in Nashville, and we'll go back to Nashville, you can see how we're starting to see improving conditions back off to our west. So, yeah, sure, we have some down towards Tullahoma. We still have the storms moving their way through Cumberland County and also into the Western Valley, and storms right along the Smoky Mountains. And so hopefully these kind of stay hunkered right against the Smoky Mountains, because that would be more beneficial. Not as much population up there. Of course, we do still have a lot of hikers in the mountains, because a lot of through hikers that do hike the Appalachian Trail, they're up in the Smoky Mountains. A lot of campers out there. So if you're joining us from a campsite, just something to keep in mind. Again, we're not talking tornadoes. We're talking about the potential for some large hail, but I do think that a lot of this energy is going to start to fade away. All right. So we'll switch back to the Morristown radar here and getting a better idea of how this is all playing out. And let me slow this down. I'll put this over a 15-minute. This is a 15-minute radar loop here that you're going to see. So just 15 minutes. Again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Morgan County as well as Roane County. And that does clip right there, or just right across the southern Scott County area on the northern side of Morgan County. So we'll see what that storm does for you folks in Wartburg. The severe thunderstorm warning back behind it, that does include just to the west of Pine Orchard. Likely will be expired here shortly in just a short amount of time. Let's see what the National Weather Service is saying. Let's see. The National Weather Service cancels a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Bledsoe County. So that has now been canceled. The severe thunderstorm warning for central Ray and central Meigs counties will expire at 8:30. And again, it's 8:28, so that's going to expire here shortly. So again, I think the atmosphere is going to start to quiet down, and we're going to start to see improving weather conditions. And then better weather as we get into the upcoming weekend. Let's see. Molly says, somehow Oak Ridge escaped all the storms, and baseball was played from 6:30 to 6 to 7:30 with only sprinkles. Oops. I'm going to give a big shout out to that, Molly. I know it's like the days that we're talking about storms like that, it's tough to make those calls. And I will tell you, I had several coaches reach out to me on social media here today, and at the ball field the other night with my kids. Several of the coaches and the folks that run the baseball field there at Lakeshore were like, I love your app due to the fact that it really, really helps us out when we have so many people at the ballpark, right? If we get lightning notification from your app, which I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe it's the only app that actually gives you lightning notifications when lightning is within 15 miles of your location. And they're like, yeah, it helps us to really clear the fields, because if lightning's within 15 miles, you got to get off the field because storms could be approaching and moving on into the area. You're welcome, Kathy. Rick Green, what's up, buddy? You're very welcome. Oh, yeah, that was in Texas. Yeah, I did see that. I was going to post that to social media. So maybe I'll post that tomorrow, Lee. Seth, let's see. Let's see. Corrine says, we had lots of hail. Do you happen to have pictures of it, Corrine? And actually, if you do, and if you have the East Tennessee Weather app, do you mind uploading those pictures to the East Tennessee Weather app? Now, of course, many of you maybe not have a lot of pictures or videos, and I'll be posting more here throughout the evening hours. Of course, people are going to be winding down. When we get done with this broadcast, I'll do another update on the forecast for folks that do have the app and may want to check in before they go to bed tonight, before tomorrow morning. Remember, if you don't know this by now, I do Wake Up with Witcher Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's a family-friendly environment to get your weather updates every single day at 6 a.m. on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, YouTube, the website, the app, social media as well. Don't always rely on Facebook and social media for you Facebookers out there. You know, one day Facebook might not be around. We'll see if that ever happens, but maybe not. Then you got to understand where to go for your weather information. If you have the app, you'll always have that weather information. So scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Are the storms in Newport going to go to North Carolina, into the North Carolina mountains? Let's go back to the radar and show you what's going on there. So we've got Newport over here. They're just kind of traversing the mountains right there in Newport, just south of Del Rio, getting ready to cross over Highway 25. So you can really see how they're really not moving eastward a whole lot. They're slowly tracking their way to the north and northeast. What's the motion on those? The motion on that is to the northeast at 17 miles per hour. So that's just going to kind of track through the mountain counties. So Raven Branch, Harmony Grove, Wasp, Boomer, Grassy Fork. Got places like so. Most of this is into a less populated area, right along the mountains. You got Elkmont, 441 over the Smokies, so Mount LeConte, Clingman's Dome area, and these will continue to work their way towards the northeast into places like Greene County. We also have some storms up to our north as well, where we do have some special weather statements now. So not necessarily anything strong enough to produce severe weather, but potentially strong storms moving just outside of the Rogersville area. We've got that special weather statement until 9:15 for Hawkins County, Hancock County, as well as Sullivan, and we'll go Washington County. So special weather statement for you folks joining us from Upper East Tennessee, and so we'll see what those storms do as they continue to progress to the south and southeast. Now let's get back to the radar. Sorry about that. All right. So that's what's going on right now. Storms, you can really, even when I was looking at the radar trying to get set up for the severe weather event or for this update, we had 5, 6, 7, 8 severe thunderstorm warnings. And those are really starting to fade away, which is great news to share with you this evening. Let's see, Angela, we watch your forecasts every day up here in Kingsport. Thanks, Angela. I appreciate that. I do cover all of East Tennessee, by the way, so we don't leave anybody out. And if you do get that, if you do have the app up there, I appreciate it. Pass it along to your friends and family. A lot of people ask me every day, where have you been? How's retirement? What are you doing now? A lot of folks don't know where I've gone or what I'm doing. So if you wouldn't mind just helping me out, share the app with people, let people know, hey, follow him on Facebook, Mike Witcher TV Facebook page. It really helps to populate the platform. I'm here for community awareness to help our community out each and every day. So I sent a hail picture in from Monroe County on Messenger. All right, let me go over to Messenger here and see if I can't find that on the good old Facebook here. I'll try to share a few photos with you coming in from Messenger if I possibly can, if it will load. Got a lot going on here. All right, so Jacqueline, there we go. So there's the photo. So, okay, there's a photo right there. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I think that was Jacqueline who said that. No, that was Sherry. But Jacqueline also said so as well. But that's what you do right there. So smaller than Penny, probably about dime-size hail. So not necessarily severe hail with that one. We've also got, let's see, we've got one coming in from, unfortunately, I can't share videos with you. Okay, here's some great photos. Okay, so this is also sent on Messenger. This one was sent in by, let's see, this was Jenna DeMars. Jenna DeMars. She says, happy Friday from Pikeville, Tennessee. So Pikeville got a lot of hail. I mean, look at that. You could like shovel that. So incredible hail showing up in the Pikeville community. We'll just put that over there for now. Let's see. We've got, and this was also coming in from Pikeville. So you can really see how the size of that hail. So again, not quite sure what the size of that hand, small hand, large hand, but probably the size of marbles. I would imagine something like that. Looks like that's the size of marbles or whatnot. So Let's see. We got another picture to share with you. There, there we go. Put them in the freezer. There we go. Yeah, that's probably larger, a little bit larger than marble size, I would imagine. Not quite the size of ping pongs, but anybody want some fresh ice with some fresh grass on your in your cold beverage here this evening? Maybe not so much. All right, what else do we have on Messenger? Let's see if I can see. I can't share the the videos, unfortunately. Here's some. So this was Monroe County. So some dark storm clouds in Monroe County here this evening. And then Monroe County got the hail. And so we've also got, so again, not quite sure the size of those, but hailstones can be round. They can be very jagged. They can be flat. They can be all different shapes and sizes. And man, you don't want to be underneath those. And hopefully, hopefully folks didn't have a whole lot of damage. Hopefully your car didn't get damaged. Hopefully you didn't have much activity. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, we got some great, well, let's see. This also shows some decent hail. So this would be Scott County. That was Scott County. So you can see a lot of the hail there on the ground in Scott County from earlier today. And there we go. So this is David Kozak from Loudoun County near Loudoun Utilities. This is exactly what you do. There you go. Dime-size hail right there in Loudoun County. So thank goodness we're not seeing the incredibly large hail that could have happened. The atmosphere was conducive for that. And let's see. I guess that's about all I have on Messenger. On that page, a lot of folks send stuff to the East Tennessee Weather Facebook page. I do appreciate you following me there as well. Let's see if we've got any other photos on the East Tennessee Weather page. And it does not appear that we have too many photos showing up there. So, all right. Let's go back to the East Tennessee Weather app, see if there's any. Oh, here's one. This is Thursday, 5/8. That would be today. Hail 2 miles southeast of Von Nor. This was sent in by A. Just the letter A. There we go. Look at that one right there. Let's see if we can get that on the screen for you. So that is an incredibly large piece of hail right there. Larger than the size of a quarter. So you're probably talking about ping pong size hail there, somewhere along those lines, but flat. Looks super flat from that vantage point. So hail from, again, that was from A. What other ones do we have? I guess that's about all I have on the app itself. Here's another one, the size of a penny, or maybe a little bit larger than the size of a penny. This was sent in by, and again, using the East Tennessee Weather app, this was sent in by Jane Riverbark. Jane, thanks so much for sharing that with me on the East Tennessee Weather platforms. Much appreciated. It's a super easy way an efficient way for you to share your weather photos with us. All right, so we've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got one currently now in Morgan County and just clipping Roane County. So this is going to work its way right over Wartburg, I should say, Grove, Petros, Elizabeth, Pine Orchard. You're just to the south of the hail core itself. When you look at the hail, the actual hail associated with it, there we go, possibly, let's see if we can't get that on the screen there. So maybe about half-inch diameter hail moving its way through Cadusa. So not necessarily severe hail, but the potential is there. And that's why we do have that severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued by the National Weather Service. Big shout out to the National Weather Service. They've been working incredibly hard today. But those storms are starting to fade away. Heavy rain right over the flash flood warning right now, just to the east, right over Mount Zion, Acorn, Tallahassee, Pumpkin Centers, Calderwood. So very hilly part of East Tennessee, a lot of terrain there. Watch out for rising water. Watch out for the creeks. Remember, we do have a flash flood warning currently in effect until 11:15 tonight. That is for McMinn County. That's also going to be for Monroe County and also Blount County. So in the flash flood warning, we've got places like Fagan, Madisonville, Nyota, Tallahassee, Pumpkin Center, Calderwood, Acorn. So all in a flash flood warning, all very hilly terrain. Watch out for rising water, and we'll continue to see how these will fade away. Still have severe thunderstorm warnings right along the foothills and mountains in Sevier County and also Cott County. That runs until 9 o'clock in Cott County and 8:45 in Blount County. So I think the good news is things are starting to wind down. All right, so you don't have to wait. I'm still going to record a forecast for the all East Tennessee weather platforms when I get done with this. So just know that. But let's go ahead and to walk you through the forecast here for the rest of the evening. I'm going to have to kind of set this up as we talk because I don't have my show necessarily set up. But you can see the storms firing up. Look at the slew of severe thunderstorm warnings all the way from Kentucky to Middle Tennessee, here in East Tennessee, over into North Carolina, down into parts of northern Alabama and North Georgia. We saw some of that. The upper level low is just to the northwest of the surface low. Surface low is coming through right now. Upper level low to the north and northwest. Upper level low is going to kind of just hang out, and that upper level low is going to kind of wobble and push off to our west. So I think it's going to stay over the Mississippi River Valley, and I think that's why we are anticipating, or I'm anticipating anyways, some relatively quieter weather as we get into the weekend. So surface low tracking its way to the south and southeast. That's really what sparked it. That's what sparked off these severe thunderstorms here this evening. Back to the radar recap over the last 3 hours. You can see how the storms have kind of been working their way through, starting to fade away, starting to die down. So when you pick up our Futurecast, picking up our timeline right now, again, this is the HRRR model. This is overdoing, of course, kind of what we're seeing, I think, for the most part, because I don't necessarily know that we're going to get super intense storms for Granger County, Hamblen County, Hawkins, Hancock County have already had a couple of strong thunderstorms, and we still have some ongoing strong storms there, so you have to watch out for those before you head off to bed. But I think the point of the story is this is all going to kind of slide its way off to the south and southeast through the rest of the evening. We're losing that daytime heating, so I think the severe weather potential kind of dies down. But don't be caught off guard if you see a little bit of strong thunderstorms. This was the risk today. This takes us all the way through about 10 o'clock tonight. So I think here for the next hour and 20 minutes or so, keep in mind we are under a risk. But from the Storm Prediction Center, we were under a level 2 risk with the potential of large hail, and then they hatched us, which means that's significant hail. That's where they're saying, okay, this is where we're talking about the potential for some significant hail. I think that as we lose that daytime heating, the significant hail event really fades away. But that was the biggest threat from what we were talking about all morning long. All right, morning lows tomorrow morning. Let's get you started on our Friday morning. Well, let's go back to that map here for a second. Friday morning low temperatures. Watch out for some patchy, dense fog. With all this moisture in place from this evening, I think we'll have some patchy, dense fog. Morning low temperatures will be in the 50s. So a mild start to the day. It's going to be pretty nice. I think Friday is going to turn out great. It's not going to be as hot as it was today. And I'll check in on the almanac here for today in just a second. So 68 degrees by the lunch hour, maybe a couple of spotty showers, maybe a few lingering showers. As we get into the afternoon, I think it's going to be partly cloudy. We're going to be in the mid-70s. And then looking ahead, though, we're still elevated on those rain chances, but notice our rain chances for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, about 20 to 30%. So not a huge rain maker per se. Dew points come down, so I'm not anticipating a lot of thunderstorm activity. And we really don't have any major disturbances to lift the atmosphere to produce any severe weather or a lot of rainfall. However, that does change, though, Sunday night, Monday into Tuesday. And the potential of 1 to 2 inches of rainfall is there, essentially from now through, say, next Thursday. But I think the heaviest rain is going to come through Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday. So make sure you check back in as we get through the weekend or highlight the weekend. I know you're going to be busy this weekend with moms out there. And by the way, a happy early Mother's Day to all your moms out there. You all do a great job every day with our kids, including my wife. Big shout out to my wife. You got to celebrate the moms here this weekend. Father's Day is coming up in June, so don't worry about that, dads. We'll get to you here coming in June. All right, so your 7-day forecast, we're going to be in the low to mid-70s all the way through Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, here's that heat and humidity. It's going to start to build its way back in. So I think not only are we talking about more rain, but the potential for maybe some stronger thunderstorms because we have more energy and more moisture in the atmosphere to work with warmer temperatures. And Wednesday should be fairly nice. Average high for this time of the year, by the way, is 77. Can you already believe that our average high is 77? And then we'll stay in the mid-80s, maybe work our way into the low to mid-80s as a ridge of high pressure builds in Wednesday and Thursday into next week. All right, James Kirk. So that's your forecast. You want to check in tomorrow morning? Cool. If you don't, that's great too. Just remember, with the East Tennessee weather platforms, I always have the information there every single day. You just got to come and check in on that. And again, don't always rely on social media for all your weather information because some of the stuff, only 10% of you actually see what I post every day. Do you know that? Unless you highlight it and follow me in a certain way through Facebook, only 10% of you actually see what I post every single day. So come to the East Tennessee weather platforms, check in on those 1 minute with Witchers. If you have not seen that yet, I post a 1 minute with Witcher every day. You get everything you need to know essentially in about 1 minute. Or if you want to know a little bit more of the story, you can watch the full forecast. I've got both of those links at the top of the East Tennessee Weather app. There we go, Brandy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I highly recommend the app. Great for travel and planning out the day. Was watching live from there, but came into Facebook to comment. Thank you so much, Brandy. I really do appreciate it. It's my go-to for updates. Big shout out to Brandy this evening. Thanks for looking out for us here in East Tennessee. You are so welcome, and thank you so much. That makes my day right there for that comment right there. So thank you so much, Brandy. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great night. Starting to rain in Powell a little bit. Sky looks nasty. We do have some storms still firing up, even towards Maynardville. Actually, let's check in on our Maynardville camera. I do have live weather cameras, so we'll take a look at the Maynardville camera. So let's switch cameras there. There's the Maynardville camera, and I just disappear. We'll get me back here in a second. Don't worry about that. So there's Maynardville. So it's dark and it's gray. We've got one little storm that's showing up. I'm zooming in. So right above me, right over Maynardville, got a good solid gully washer right over Maynardville. That's why it looks dark and gray. So that storm is right over the top of that camera right now. That's pretty cool. Let's see. We'll go to... Oops, didn't mean to do that. We'll come back here real quick. Let's come back here. All right, so let's switch another cameras. I got another great view. Let's see. Let's show you another great view. So the storms that are to our south is kind of hugging the Smoky Mountains right now. This is what that looks like. This is our KMNV in Madisonville. This is our Monroe County Airport. Live camera there. I know some of the cameras aren't working on the app right now. YouTube sometimes just shuts them down. But yeah, cool view. You can see the lightning. Watch the lightning right there, just over those two planes in the center of the screen. We've got some pretty healthy lightning. And again, oh, look at that. That's over against the mountain. So the radar right above me, you'll see the radar loop is I always want the radar loop above me at the top left-hand side of the screen. But let's go down to Monroe County and show you what that looks like. Let's see. There's Madisonville. So there we go. So that storm, that camera right there is looking at the incredible storm that is producing a lot of lightning. I'll show you the lightning strikes. So we've got 48 lightning strikes in this viewpoint right here on your screen. That's right there above me. That camera is looking at that storm system that's producing incredible. Whoa, look at that lightning showing up right there. An incredible view from an East Tennessee live weather camera here this evening. That's why these cameras are so important. And I can't stress enough. Listen, if you've got a great view at a great vantage point, I don't need any more in Knox County, but if you've got a great view and a great vantage point of your area, email me, mike@easttnweather.com. Take a photo. Send me the location of where you would like that camera. The camera's 100% free. I'm putting up cameras all over East Tennessee. I've got a lot more. I have a list of 30 cameras that I'd like to install. But if you've got a great view, let me know, because this is why these cameras are so important. So we can show you the weather, also show you the radar. So we've got incredible amounts of lightning showing up right there at that storm. That's where we currently have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Tellico Plains, Belltown, Chestnut Valley, Rafter, Wachisi, excuse me. I think I said that right. I'm sorry. I've lived here for how many years? I can't name them all. Bald River Falls area, Indian Boundary. Indian Boundary is a great place to be. So that storm is right over Indian Boundary. Indian Boundary is not under a severe thunderstorm warning right now, so we'll see what the National Weather Service does with that. All right, let's see. National Weather Service canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Blount and south central Sevier counties, but they issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Greene and Cott County. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning right now for Greene and Cott County. They're just issuing on this storm that's going to hug the mountains of East Tennessee and North Carolina, but on the East Tennessee side. So we're talking about, let's see, Houston Valley. We got Lanceville, Hayesville, White Sands, Cedar Creek, Bethany, all in that severe thunderstorm warning. That does run until 9:30 this evening. And right over Grassy Fork in Cott County until 9:30, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning. Grassy Fork, Bluffton, Browns. This will work its way right back over Harmony Grove, London, Blue Mill, Wasp, Boomer, Del Rio, Houston Valley again. So these are tracking to the northeast at, 17 miles per hour. So it's tracking to the northeast at 17 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and time that out for you folks that may be joining us from that part of East Tennessee. Let me move this camera down a little bit, And we'll track this. We'll just take it from Grassy Fork area. We'll track it to the north and northeast. And so places, so Hot Springs, North Carolina. Let's see. We don't have a lot of population in this area. But again, that is a severe thunderstorm warning that is tracking to the northeast at 17 miles per hour, where we currently have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 9:30. And the one to the northeast of that, Greene County, as well as Cott County, also in effect until 9:30 this evening. So for about another 45 minutes or so, we have a severe thunderstorm warning hugging the mountain counties for Cott and Greene County. Heads up there. Make sure you track it as we go off the air here tonight. Make sure you track it. I'm showing you all this stuff, and I had the wrong thing up. Well, we're watching that storm over into Monroe County. There's a storm. So again, severe thunderstorm warning for Cott County and Greene County that runs until 9:30 this evening, per the National Weather Service. We're talking about hail, possibly upwards of ping pong size, and 60-mile-per-hour winds associated with that storm. Pittman Center started to see things wind down. Sevier County. That's why the National Weather Service has canceled that one, as well as let's see. There's that. Okay, now we've got the severe thunderstorm warnings for much of Blount County that have been canceled, but a severe thunderstorm warning continues now until 9:15 for Monroe County. It does clip Monroe County. That is the flash flood warning. So again, there's that flash flood warning that runs until 11:15 tonight. When you look at your accumulations here over the last 3 hours, that's why we have that flash flood warning right there, is because rainfall amounts with that have been upwards of over 2 inches over towards Madisonville. We've got that over towards, Madisonville. That's right along Highway 411. So anybody in Madisonville, listen, if you're joining us from Madisonville, the Fagan area, Hopewell Springs, if you've got some flash flooding going on in your area, I'd love for you to share some videos or photos. You can post those on social media or the East Tennessee Weather app. Unfortunately, you can't do video under Witcher's Pictures on the East Tennessee Weather app, but you can on social media. But just turn around, don't drown. Watch out for rising water in this area. Again, beautiful part of East Tennessee, but that's where we have an ongoing flash flood warning thanks to your 3-hour rainfall totals of 2 inches. And so that's where we've seen some of the heaviest rain. We also have had heavy rain, your 3-hour rainfall forecast, so not necessarily flash flood guidance there, but your 12-hour rainfall totals over towards Melvin and Cold Spring, just north of Pikeville, about 3.5 inches of rainfall there. Just to the west of Watts Bar, west of Highway 27, right along Highway 127, by the way. So we could have some sort of localized flooding and flash flooding that's ongoing in that part of town as well. So we'll go back to the radar here for you, and we'll highlight the radar. But again, everything is starting to wind down, I think, this evening. Yes, we have got ongoing some strong storms, but when you look at the radar, it's drastically improved from what we've seen so far this evening. All right, we're going to wrap things up. I'm going to do a recording. I'm going to post that to all social media and East Tennessee Weather platforms here in just probably about 10, 15, 20 minutes or so. That will get you started. If you missed the forecast at all for tomorrow morning, you can check back in before you head off to bed. Thank you so much for joining me this evening for a quick live weather update on the severe weather coverage that's ongoing around East Tennessee. As I do head off to break, I am going to share that beautiful view from KMNV, Monroe County Airport, looking to the southeast. Just stick with me until the music stops. You're going to see some incredible lightning, a nice lightning show that's ongoing in Monroe County across the mountains of East Tennessee. You all are awesome. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'll see you here for Wake Up with Witcher. Starts off at 6 o'clock in the morning. The replay is on Facebook. You can get all your weather updates with the East Tennessee Weather platforms 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We broadcast every day, my friends. That's what we do here with East Tennessee Weather. So as I switch over, if you have a chance to scan the QR code or just log on to easttnweather.com, I have links to download the app front and center at the top of the website. All right, be safe, be kind to each other. Have a great night. Sleep tight. I'll see you tomorrow morning.